that I still have something magical and I'm so excited to share with you. Woohoo! Da-doo-da, da-doo-da-doo-da-day. There are so many different paths along the healing journey to experience the profound restoration, transformation, and liberation that we so deeply desire. There are so many different pathways along the healing journey, but what if you don't want to do a whole lot of work to experience the restoration, transformation, and liberation that you so deeply crave and unconditionally deserve to experience? What if you don't want to go through hours of stuff and watching videos and reading stuff and hours of practices every day, and you're practicing mindfulness and meditation and distinction and connection between self aspects, and you're reading all these things and you're trying to figure out how to transmute implicit memories? What if maybe that isn't the healing route for you? Through Kristin's Consciousness Consultancy, I offer a wide variety of services and creations, and the healing journey programs that I offer are so profound in the transformation that they cultivate. But they do take quite a bit of conscious investment. What if you want to just kick back and have no conscious thought happening and yet still experience restoration, transformation, and liberation? Then I still have something for you. One of the services I offer is called Mystical Odyssey Imaginative. Mystical Odyssey Imaginative. And it is a transcendent journey, speaking from personal experience, because I've used this for my healing journey, and the journey itself and the results of that journey were genuinely indescribable in the most positive and powerful way, which is why I'm so excited to share this with you. The Mystical Odyssey Imaginative is a personalized self-hypnosis session that is created with the intention of being used as a healing journey course, and you play with it during a 6-month period or longer. It can be used for up to 2 years, but 6 months is the intended journey for this Odyssey. The 1 or 2 hour Mystical Odyssey Imaginative is used once every night as you fall asleep, and you simply allow yourself to drift into the experience without needing to focus or stay awake. It's used once a week while engaging in some everyday task during the day while you're awake. It could be morning, afternoon, or evening, but while you're in the fully lucid awake hours, maybe you're exercising or cleaning or drawing or coloring, something where you're engaged in things, but whatever you're doing doesn't take a whole lot of focus, like editing a document or something. So you're going about everyday task, and once a week you use this Mystical Odyssey Imaginative, and it's 1 to 2 hours approximately, and you listen to it as just background sound, and you kind of casually listen, and maybe you drift in and out. You're not like super focused, like I have to hear every word, but you're kind of gently enjoying it as like a background story. And then, in addition, the third application method of this Odyssey is that it's used once a month. And during that time, you can listen any time of day, but you use it as a self-hypnosis session where you stay fully awake for the experience, but you are completely relaxed, either sitting down or lying down in nature or indoors. You can have your eyes open or closed during this third application method, but the important part is that you're completely relaxed without falling asleep. And so closing your eyes might cause you to fall asleep. You can keep them open. If keeping your eyes open reduces the ability for you to fully engage in the inner experience of imagination, then you close your eyes. You kind of make it your own. But the third application is once a month during a fully awake time where you are 100% focused on it. Okay? The first application is once every night as you fall asleep, allowing yourself to drift unconsciously into sleep without needing to focus. The second application is every week, once a week, while engaging in some other task while you're fully awake. And then the third application is once a month, fully focused on it, fully awake, as a self-hypnosis session, okay? And then this continues for 6 months. And so it's a healing journey program or course, but you don't have to actually do anything but hang out. You don't have to consciously focus on stuff. You don't have to do all this hard work that takes concentration. You don't have to learn any new concepts. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You know, some of the other stuff that I offer that I love and enjoy, and it's so magical and so powerful, but it does take quite a bit of inner play and conscious effort and intentionality and learning some new ideas. And so if that route doesn't suit you, then I still have something magical and I'm so excited to share with you. Woohoo! Da-doo-da, da-doo-da-doo-da-day. I've always loved storytelling. The storytelling began as a very young child, and there was a constant experience of writing books and listening to audiobooks and really enjoying the journey of going into these parallel realities and having a completely imagined experience that felt as real as anything else. And over the years, Kristin loved expressing through writing. But during the past few years, as you will know if you've been following my journey, and if not, I encourage you to check out some stuff, including part 1 of my known documentary series and all the different healing journey programs that I offer through Kristin's consciousness consultancy. But during the past few years, Kristin has spent hundreds of quadrillions of hours writing thousands of pages. And so I'm taking a break from writing. And so I'm taking a break from writing, even though that's something Kristin always associated herself with. But the desire for storytelling is still there, stronger than ever. The beautiful part about these mystical Odyssey imaginative adventures is that they are not imagined through my human perception. And so the experience is genuinely just a mystical and transcendent. For me, it's always a surprise. It's always a surprise because I never know what magic is going to start leaking out of the crevices and cracks of my consciousness. When I create a personalized Mystical Odyssey Imaginative for a beloved soul friend guided to my work and play, it is a channeled experience where I take the intention and the energy connected with the individual I am creating it for, and I slip into a space of pure consciousness where I become nothing and nobody. And in that space, I am actually guided through the journey internally, and I'm really just vocalizing the description of the journey that I am being guided through. And that's my favorite part about this, because I could, make up stuff all I want, but these journeys are different than that, and they're really powerful because of that. If it was just something created through the human imagination, there might be limitation. But because each of these journeys is so personalized and created from a higher space of consciousness that goes far beyond just what is inside of my brain. These journeys are really, really powerful. And Kristin used these for her journey at some very peak, critical, challenging times. And they were a key cornerstone in reaching new layers and levels and depths and heights of healing restoration, expansive transformation, and loving liberation. When Kristin could not remember her entire life after completing many years of continually deep depth darknesses of dark nights of the soul, just the most indescribably challenging times, she then came out the other side and couldn't remember her entire life, the most intense and unique form of amnesia. And instead of trying to figure out what to do about it or go outside of herself, figuring it out, she went inside and found this really unique talent that she had never really known was there. And she created these self-hypnosis sessions for herself, which I now call, more accurately, a Mystical Odyssey Imaginative. And she used them every night, every day, every week, every month, for a long time, in a very similar way to the description I just shared with you, where you use it in very specific application methods every night, every week, and every month for at least 6 months. And it actually helped Kristin rewire her brain, improve brain-body regulation, recover memories, improve navigation that allowed her to expand the quality of her personal experience. And it allowed her to feel more united and whole within herself during some very, very challenging times.
Applying the self-hypnosis completely changed the way that I woke up in the morning when using it at night. On days where I did not use it, I woke up with a slight, very subtle, but a subtle sensation of disconnection with myself and subtle sensations of anxiety. Like there wasn't just this sense of innate wholeness inside of me. There wasn't this innate sense of wholeness. That's the best way I can describe it. It's very, very, very subtle and very much in my unconscious mind. My conscious mind would not ordinarily have been able to recognize that, only because I've been able to learn about understanding unconscious minds. So it's very much in the unconscious mind, very subtle, very backdrop sensations. And I woke up not like hesitant and reserved, but I don't know. In comparison, though, waking up after the self-hypnosis, I'm extraordinarily confident, content, energized, enthusiastic. I feel like I can laugh and be silly and be lighthearted and easygoing. I feel like being in the moment is enough and that's all I need to do. I feel much more at ease with myself. Like I can just be me and I don't have to think about who I'm being. And yeah, just a deeper self-connection with me and with life. Like walk out and just kind of stand there for 10 minutes staring at nature in awe and wonder and enjoying the beauty with complete satisfaction instead of like jumping into my day as a traditional adult would do. And so just like transformative benefits just from prioritizing inner child healing and connection. And this example is with using my self-hypnosis at night while I sleep and then seeing the effects when I wake up. And so last night what I did was I had my healing childhood self-hypnosis, healing adult self-hypnosis, healing childhood affirmations, and then I woke up at like 6 a.m. and then went back to bed and did the healing childhood self-hypnosis again. So I was lucid in and out of it for part of it, but then I fell asleep in and out of it also. And then woke up and then everything's just like the best day of my fucking life. So kind of want to add this example into that thesis statement whenever I get there. I love you so, so much. And it is February 24th, 2021 in the morning.
And this had long been emerging because self-hypnosis was something that Kristin taught herself during the preface of these challenging years that led to the Implicit Revelations case study, And again, you can find out more in part 1 of my known documentary series or in other content creations of mine on YouTube and my website. But many, many years ago, Kristin taught herself self-hypnosis when she was going through some very, very difficult times, to say the least. And it was the one place where she felt like she was starting to reclaim her power. And this was done just using some freely available self-hypnosis sessions on YouTube. But they didn't have the personalized aspect, and it was really hard to find one that actually fit what she was needing to do through the inner work play of self-hypnosis. And so after a while, she kind of got a feel for what was actually happening, the process and the shift in brainwave state activity, etc. And she taught herself how to go into a state of self-hypnotic trance and then use that state of being and consciousness and brainwave activity and, brain engagement and stuff to use her imagination and start to go into these different places that needed some healing in some different ways. And then 2 years later, she had been using self-hypnosis every day and practicing it and developing the ability to use it. And then she used self-hypnosis to uncover the slight trigger warning here. Slight, very brief trigger warning, potentially very brief, just for a minute. She used the self-hypnosis method to uncover suppressed childhood trauma and gradually transmute those fragmented pieces of implicit neural wiring while liberating the aspects of consciousness who had been stuck experiencing the disruption of navigation and regulation because of the neural wiring from all those decades ago that had never been connected with anything else. The experience of that was completely suppressed, not known about in any capacity, and yet had been causing health challenges for decades. And she was able to actually uncover every detail of it, piece it all together, and heal and transmute all of it and all of its associated health challenges. And that would never have been possible without the self-hypnosis journey. And then once Kristin broke free from all that a couple of years later, then she couldn't remember her entire life. And ironically, at that point, she actually had no memory of engaging in self-hypnosis because she couldn't remember her entire life at all, quite literally. And so the journey of creating the self-hypnosis that I described originally, where she didn't have any memory and she created these mystical guided imaginative experiences for herself, and it really helped change the game of things. She didn't know that she had actually ever done self-hypnosis before that, and she kind of rediscovered it. But then she realized that she really enjoyed the experience of it, and then shift, that's the backstory. Now we're back to me here. There's several things that I really love about this, and it's why I'm really excited to share. After sharing this, I will express some of the potential benefits that you might gain or experience while embarking upon this odyssey. So here I am now, and when I create these experiences, it's definitely not something I am conjuring through the human brain. It genuinely feels like I'm entering into a state where this journey actually already existed and a higher intelligence is guiding me through it, and I'm just witnessing it and then relaying it. It's very difficult to describe beyond that, but it's very, very different because I know what it's like to write fiction and, brainstorm and go through different drafts of ideas and think about things and pull information from what I've experienced. And this is nothing like that. It's nothing like that. And so every single time that I create these, it is a very powerful experience for me. And it's such an honor to share that because it really is this process of channeling. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept of channeling, but it's really just creating space to allow for a flow from a higher state of consciousness that extends beyond just who and what I am here in this human form. And so when I go into this trance state, there's just an empty space, and then the journey comes to me. And I am guided through the journey, and I'm just describing what I'm experiencing as I'm being guided through it instead of making it up. And so that's one reason that these have so much power. It's coming from something bigger than just me. And I'm honored to be a channel for this gift. And then another reason that this is so special and near and dear to my heart, and I feel so blessed to share it as an offering that can really provide some profound restoration, transformation, and liberation, which I'll talk about in a second, is because I love the creative expression of imaginative storytelling. So often we get caught up in everything that's happening, and the journey of the healing that we're in can feel very chore-like. And we forget that it's supposed to be fun and lighthearted and gentle and about love. And so when we get caught up in this physical world, things can sometimes feel constrictive or limited. And that can especially happen when there are challenging times, like if you're, let's say, for example, not speaking from personal experience at all. I'm absolutely speaking from personal experience, but shh, don't tell anybody, okay? Let's say, for example, you are experiencing over 100 disabling health challenges and you can't remember your life, and there's over 30 independent states of consciousness that have complete amnesic barriers, and every other second the prefrontal cortex shifts and you have no idea who you are or where you're at or what you're doing or who you can trust or who's around you or what's going on in any capacity, because short and long-term memory aren't accessible, and every other 3 seconds there's another activation of some disintegrated traumatic stress response, and you're suddenly unconsciously reliving the absolute worst, most terrible moments of existence, and you're completely mind-body completely disconnected with zero ability to orient in the state of self or actually be in tune with the happenings of the body, and then every couple hours you go into the most severe dorsal vagal collapse that you literally experience oxygen deprivation. Okay, all right, so let's say, for example, there's something like that. How does healing get to feel fun in a struggle like that? Well, one of the many ways is through a mystical Odyssey Imaginative. Or let's say, for example, that you're moving about your everyday life and every moment is filled with crippling anxiety because you literally can't remember anything about your life and you don't know who you are or where you're at or what's going on or what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go or what's next or what just happened or how you got here. How is healing fun during a time like that? Well, lots of different ways, because every single one of my healing journey offerings has an emphasis on fun. Like singing and dancing and playing in mirrors or creating moments of happily ever after in everyday life, or yeah, there's lots of magic actually. But one of the many ways is through a mystical, guided, imaginative experience of consciousness, an Odyssey. Mystical Odyssey Imaginative. Another reason this is so near and dear to my heart is because I really love the creative process of storytelling and dramatizing the voice and going ever so soft and gentle and allowing for the different energies of the journey to be expressed through different levels of vocal enunciation and passionate expression. And so it really just allows for a deeper channeling of my own authentic soul energy. But now let's get to you. I talked about why I enjoy this and why I'm excited to offer this, but let's get back to you. What on earth are you going to experience? During this journey, the Mystical Odyssey Imaginative has different layers and levels of healing journey benefits. The first one is that it transforms unconscious memories, which are the dominant pieces of neural wiring affecting navigation, including thoughts, feelings, and action patterns, or decision-making tendencies and abilities, and regulation, including your ability to breathe really deeply and relax, the ability for your prefrontal cortex to engage and for you to be in a lucid state of conscious awareness and have a gap between stimulus and response, etc., etc. The ability for effective sensory processing. So when you eat a bite of food, you are fully in the moment of experience. Navigation and regulation is most dominantly affected by the wiring of unconscious memories, implicit, emotional, and procedural memories. The style of these Mystical Odyssey Imaginatives is that it really touches on transforming unconscious memory data. Repeated journeys of this Odyssey create new implicit memories, new states of emotions, feelings, sensations, and bodily orientation of action patterns, including deeper states of relaxation. While new implicit memories are created to instill positive programs or information, pieces of information to improve navigation and regulation, it also has a very specific focus on transforming existing neural wiring. And that is done in a very specific way that is totally different every time because each of them is personalized. You can explore some insights about them through the samples that I share on the associated webpage of this divine offering. But for example, during one of the creations, Kristin would activate memories of a very specific setting from a very specific time period of life and then have a new experience in that setting. And so bringing up the memory of that space during that time period, unconsciously or subconsciously, activated all associated information to navigate the moment. And as it became activated, it became rewired with information from this new experience. And that was one of the pieces that Kristin used to start recovering memories from her life when she couldn't remember her entire life. The Mystical Odyssey Imaginative rewires implicit memories to improve navigation and regulation now and in the future. That process improves neural content, expands neural connectivity, and improves brain-body regulatory protocols. Those are the benefits on the brain and the body. But you are not the brain and the body. You are not the neural wiring of your unconscious body-mind. You are the essence of you, which is always distinct from and connected with all the stuff going on in here. And so the other portion of the profound benefits is that it really unites parts of consciousness. Self aspects get to come together in a really profound way that might not be available through other healing modalities, or it might take a lot longer with more roadblocks. For example, when there were dozens and dozens of different people or states of consciousness with complete amnesic barriers during Kristin's really unique healing journey, the only time all parts of the self could actually connect was during self-hypnosis. Something about this altered state of consciousness, different from alternate state of consciousness, this altered state of brain activity and reaching into the activity of consciousness beyond the automations was the one time that the amnesic barriers, because of all the unique neural wiring and all the disruptions of navigation and regulation, it didn't affect consciousness. And so there might be, and obviously this is one of infinite examples, but there are many times where this union of consciousness cannot effectively be achieved another way. Another example is when Kristin couldn't remember her entire life. It was like, how can you connect with parts of you who are associated with neural wiring that you can't get to? For example, there were aspects of the inner child, but she couldn't remember her childhood. So how do you help those parts of you feel loved and seen and connected if you literally can't get to them because of the way things are wired at the moment? Wiring can always be changed. Power of consciousness always has the ability to rewire it. But that was another reason that this was so powerful, because even when memories from childhood couldn't be reached, and even when aspects of the self couldn't be reached, this journey allowed for consciousness to be united, and it created a deeper sense of wholeness and well-being, even despite everything else that was going on. And again, this is one of infinite examples. But along with brain-body rewiring, transforming implicit memories, improving navigation and regulation, there is a greater sense of unity and wholeness for consciousness. Self aspects get to experience healing homecomings. And this is the most profound experience of a lifetime. Sometimes this stuff, the brain-body rewiring, implicit memories, navigation, regulation, sometimes that is about what we're healing from. But this is about what we're healing into. And so regardless of whatever the brain-body wiring is, regardless of whatever the navigation and regulation is, or whatever you want it to be, you get to heal into wholeness and wellness and love and deeper presence. And so those are the two main benefits, is transformation for brain-body wiring, transformation for consciousness, liberation of the whole self while restoring optimal health and well-being. The best part about this journey is that you literally don't have to do anything but show up. You don't have to read anything. You don't have to learn anything. You don't have to memorize anything. You don't have to consciously really practice much other than just like being. Like, oh no, I have to go lay on the grass and relax and look at the blue sky and listen to a really cool story. Like, oh no! Healing is so hard. No, like this is the most amazing adventure. It's the most amazing adventure. And it's so cool because when applying it all these different ways, you get different pieces of the journey in different capacities at different times. And then you go through kind of these layers and levels. Like the first couple weeks, you experience a certain style of maybe healing. And then the next couple weeks, like something new comes up and something that you didn't get from the experience before, you start to get from it now. And there's so many layers and levels to these creations. Like I said before, I couldn't mentally conjure them if I tried. I go into this very trance state, and there's things that come up that I never could have created just trying, and it ends up just being really magical. It ends up just being really incredibly, ridiculously magical. If you are looking for some healing journey magic and you don't want to do the work of reading a long playbook, and you don't want to do the work of having to talk about the stuff that you're going through, and you don't want to do the work of having to like watch videos and apply some practice, or oh my goodness, all these ridiculous ways of playing that Kristin makes up, oh my gosh, and what, then this might be for you. The Mystical Odyssey Imaginative is amazing because you literally just kick back, relax, hit the play button, and that's all you need to do. And yet, the restoration, transformation, and liberation that naturally unfold is miraculous, remarkable, and unparalleled. And these creations changed my life. And the journey of allowing for these odysseys to be channeled through me is remarkable, and I'm honored to be a channel. And when using these odysseys and continuing to show up for the journey, the outcome is beyond beautiful. So I'm really, really excited to share this with you. To get a little taste test of the potential magic of these Mystical Odyssey Imaginatives, please continue exploring and taste test the sample creations from the past couple of years. The Mystical Odyssey Imaginatives do not come with background music, so that you can listen to them without background sound if you prefer, or if you enjoy music, then you get to choose what background music plays, and you can actually change it as you go. For example, when listening to it as you fall asleep, you might have an 8-hour audio track that has very calming sleep music. Or if you're listening during the day, you might have kind of gentle, upbeat acoustic music in the background, just playing quieter so you can have the Odyssey be the main experience and focal point of auditory processing, but some gentle music in the background. And then you can play with no music or different styles of music for different applications throughout your journey. You simply choose a setting for the Odyssey to take place, describe your healing journey intention, connect with me through a very brief audio call just so I can feel into your subconscious energies and the energy within you behind this intention and the reason for choosing that setting. And that's the only work you have to do. And then the end result is this journey that you get to use continuously for several months just by hanging out, relaxing, and having this beautiful storytelling imaginative adventure through the miraculous wonders of your consciousness. P.S. Go play with face paint if you get the chance to, mainly just because you're alive to draw random shapes on your face in color. I said this was going to be short. I'll at least add chapters. It never gets short once I get talking.